Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. My name is Bahamut. We have got three best of three series for you all this evening. We've got two from Division B and one from Division C. We're going to be getting into that Division C East matchup right now between the members of Deep Fried Ragaros versus Illidancing Queens. That one's going to trip me up a bit, but we are here on Volskaya Foundry. Welcome to Ron, welcome to Lazy Hydra, and hello Zool Rules. Welcome to everyone else who's lurking and hanging out. But all of that aside, I think you're all more wondering how we got to Volskaya Foundry. The home team this evening is going to be Deep Fried Ragaros. They lost the coin flipped. The members of Illidancing Queens, excuse me, I messed this up earlier. Let me just fix this really quickly. Illidancing Queens opted for first pick priority for game number 1. They banned out Alterac Pass and Cursed Hollow. Infernal Shrines and Braxis Holdout were banned out by the members of Deep Fried Ragaros, and they will be taking us to Volskaya Foundry as map number 1 in game number 1 of match number 1. Everything's number ones. Welcome back, everyone. Also to note, we do have a BarkBox 1 month of BarkBox free raffle that we're going to be doing a little bit later in the stream. Probably going to be somewhere around in between the second and third matchup. But Brian, thank you so much for the resubscription. I really appreciate that. 21 ding-dang months. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for supporting, and thanks for always hosting me when I come by the state. Ta, how's it going? The best boys are with the best stream starting music. It's some decent music, I'm not gonna lie. What's up, Zell? How you doing? Some excellent team names. Seriously, Deep Fried. Actually, fun fact: Deep Fried Ragaros is an amalgamation. It's a merger of Deep Fried Pizzas versus Behold Ragnaros. They were two teams that scrimmed a bunch in Heroes Lounge, and when that season ended, they were like, well, why don't we just merger and then just make one gigantic team for NGS so we have like subs and stuff, and so here we are, but we are actually getting through our bans. We do have a Vala Ariel on the left-hand side. We have the Sylvanas and the Kael'thas on the right. I just want to quickly note something just to the players because there is a Deathwing ban, so I just always, whenever I see these things, make sure that they do know that Deathwing has Bellowing Roar, cannot use Bellowing Roar while in the air. It's just one of the rules that they... It's habit that I always post all the rules to the players. Either way, Gul'dan will be picked up here on the left-hand side. But Poorly Plays, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you for using your Twitch Prime here. Glad you're enjoying the content, and thanks so much. Vala Kael'thas ban, what year is this? You know what? Mockery did put out an entire build on Twitter today through the Heroes Hearth website about Vala, so maybe that's it. Maybe that's just it. Also, I mean, we are playing in Division C, so you have to kind of change how you kind of view the meta in a sense. I mean, you're going to see more comfort picks. Like Kael'thas is definitely more of a comfort pick in some of these situations, but also in the fact that we are in these lower divisions, Chain Bomb spread is actually very, very common. It's one of those things that people aren't constantly looking for or making sure they're spreading out from. So, I mean, you're still going to pass it around here and there, but it's not like we're kind of in the middle. I think we're like mid-plat right now with Division C, but ramblings aside, we got Rhaegar Mal'Ganis on the right-hand side, and we have a Gul'dan Johanna on the left. The Gul'dan Johanna is going to be strong control and poke over the point. They are still going to need to support themselves. They'll get rid of the Hanzo as they don't want to deal with the poke potential he brings to the table. Sonic Arrow is really good. You also do have the Dragon Arrow for the giant AoE stun to a maximum of 2 seconds. If you do get that full range on it, as it travels certain distances, the stun increases over time. So it's just one of those things. I believe it steps up like it's like 0.5 seconds, 1 second, and then 2 seconds. I think I'm wrong on that, but either way, it's got 3 step-ups, and the duration increases to a maximum of 2. Ana will be banned out, as that actually would be pretty powerful with the Gul'dan. You can nano boost into the Gul'dan to allow them to have some spell power increase as well as some cooldown reduction, and they can really just kind of Gatling gun those Fell Flames or maybe even the Echoed Corruption as well. I hope they can handle Deathwing. Well, God, that Bob Ross is perfect. You know, things like Greymane, things like Malthael are all still up and available, and Leoric as well. So they're actually going to pick Leoric into the solo lane into Deathwing. At least I'm assuming that this is solo lane Deathwing. We're not going to be seeing a solo lane Mal'Ganis here. And then the Alexstrasza to be picked up as well. They don't have to worry about any sort of healing mitigation coming in. They're not going to be picking up a Deckard Cain with the Rhaegar. I mean, I really doubt it. That's just so much healing overkill for also a hero that you literally can't target with your healing, Deathwing being that exact hero. But they are going to need something damage-wise, and also they're going to need... It's a lot of... I don't know how I feel about this. Yo, Move, how's it going? Loving Bahamas casting, Tespa got a sub. Thank you so much, Poorly Plays. I'm glad you enjoyed the Tespa casting. Dueling Dragons? Yeah, indeed. Right here, to be honest, though, I wouldn't mind a Tychus. Something with percent base damage. A Malthael wouldn't be bad either, but they're actually going to be going into a Rainer, so it's going to be still sustained damage coming out from them. Overall, the Uther throws me off quite a bit. I'll be honest. I'll be blunt about that, because it's almost like they have, you know, this. I'm trying to think of the word for it. I'm drawing a blank on it at the moment. They got this hyper carry Greymane, and I'm not too sold on that. I'll be honest, chat. I'm not 100% sold on this potential hyper carry Greymane. Now, there's a lot of stuff to kind of step up and allow that Greymane to sustain during these fights. I mean, you have Uther healing, you've got Rhaegar healing, you've also got Mal'Ganis to be able to kind of control the fight a little bit with the Fell Claws as well as the Night Rush, and then Deathwing is able to have some great damage on top of all of that. It's just, I don't know. It feels like there's not enough damage coming out from the members of Illidancing Queens, but we'll have to see what happens here. 0.5 range comp. I'm so sick of playing against Uther Rhaegar comps. Though I want the queens to win. Okay, all right. How's it going, bud? Good to see you. Hey, Blonde Duchess, good to see you, friend. Wait, what is that first emote? I'm trying to figure out what that is. Oh, it's a dog. Okay, sorry. I have the black background. I was just like, it was all blending together. I was like, what is that? That is adorable. That is very, very cute. And then, oh my god, the parody A is so good as well. Kael'thas Anaban's sure makes sense now. Yeah, especially with the Alexstrasza coming down the line. A chain bomb from Kael'thas is quite the nuisance, but you know what isn't getting into the game. Let's go ahead and find out what's going to happen here in game number 1. On the left-hand side, we got Deep Fried Ragaros. We're going to be having Corndog on the Joanna. Proshock is going to be on the Raynor. We're going to be seeing Svenla on the Alexstrasza. Gola on the Gul'dans. King Andrew going to be on the Leoric. And I feel like I missed someone, but I actually didn't. And so that's going to be the members of Deep Fried Ragaros. Sorry, I was watching the Mastery Taunt way too much. On the right-hand side, we got the members of the Illidancing Queens. We're going to have Yotaro on the Greymane. Born to Shine going to be on the Rhaegar. Hooked on Phoenix on the Uther. Pina Colada going to be on the Mal'Ganis. And we have Deathwing being played by Sestrin. We're going to go ahead and see what the play is in top lane here. They've got some good lockdown with a couple of these players, and so maybe it's just single target blow up is the game plan. But they're not showing. We're gonna wait a couple seconds here to look at level 1s. I'm curious to see how this is actually gonna work out. Hold on, let's also do this. Let's make this even more interesting. Let's only show the vision for a red team. Oh, as they actually broke off immediately, so we can actually look at level 1s. I was wondering if we were going to be able to see some sort of they make some sort of aggressive rotation not seeing the enemy team, which is odd, but maybe able to try and take a bit of a brawl at the start right there. I was just hoping for some sort of little bush play, but either way, teams are just going to be going off into their top to mid rotations, and this is pretty standard for this map to be able to maximize your soak between top and mid, and then you are going to be having your solo laners matching out. We're going to do our best to follow this one because this matchup here should be pretty fun, especially with the percent-based damage from King Andrew on the Drain Hope, but the very, very powerful force of Deathwing kind of matching into that. So this bottom lane is actually going to be quite interesting consistently, because I know Leoric should have an easy time with it, but Sestrin doing a good job of pushing in the wave, but also King Andrew playing this a little bit slower. Yo, Mikey, what's up, bud? Thanks for coming by. Good to see you, friend. Apparently Buttspot wanted to hit right then and there. Bloodlust Divine Shield. I was talking about like Deckard Cain potentially coming out, and then all of a sudden I was just like, what if we actually see a Bloodlust game? I mean, it could work. It's melee damage, melee damage, melee damage, melee damage, melee damage. So yeah, you definitely could. Everyone's always hoping for a bit of bush plays. Always. The bush plays are the best way to start the games. Corndog and friends are going to be working on this biotic emitter as they step up onto the point, but it will be held over by Born to Shine for a couple seconds. They're going to pop the Iron Skin as well, trying to sustain through all this. Dragon Queen form is going to be popped by Svenla as well. Going to use the Flame Buffet to push the enemy team back, and they're actually kind of all stacked up, and this is going to be a great time for Deep Fried Ragnos to capitalize on 3 kills, not even giving over one themselves. They also get the biotic emitter, and that is a massive win for the members of our blue team. This means that they're going to be up about a level here, as well as a little bit more in position for our first objective phase, as it is going to be announced in 30 seconds. Everyone will be back up from death, but still, it's the rotations that you're going to be seeing coming out from the opposing side between top and mid that's going to be throwing off the slight advantage or any sort of posturing advantage you would have. I do like that they actually stuck up here for a little bit longer, doing a soft push into top lane. This means if they get the Triglav Protector, it's going to be even easier for them to make that top lane rotation to take out the well, so that way the lane sustain's going to be gone. Bloodlust game, I'm kind of hoping for it. I really am hoping for it. We'll find out in about 4.5-ish levels, excuse me, 3.5-ish levels, but we can actually pull it back to talents as 7s are about to come back in here. Just wanted to highlight the experience and how that was coming in. Still between King Andrew and Sestrin in this bottom lane. Looks like Deathwing is just having a great time down here, and this is what I was talking about. I wanted to watch this a little bit more due to the fact that typically Leorics push in the Deathwings because of the high health pool and the Drain Hope and all of that good stuff. Here, not going to be the case just yet, as we are going to have this contested. They're going to be forcing them off on the side of Illidancing Queens. Can Deep Fried Ragaros start to, or not even start, but just continue to hold this over the enemy team as they are slowly starting to close that experience gap. Deathwing still sitting on the point, will be able to have channel for now. Needs to back off as the rest of the friendly team is going to be tapping well, and you can see how much damage Deathwing just took, so they're going to be able to tap well. One of the few ways that Deathwing is able to heal themselves, regeneration globes, tapping well, and flying into the sky are the 3 ways that Deathwing can actually be healed. All of them obviously are self-targeted or self-done, so it's not like well, I guess, you know, someone can pick up a regeneration globe and it can go to you, so there's that factor. But regardless, we are going to be having 7s up on both sides. This is going to be Cataclysm coming through, and that's going to be sweeping over the entire enemy team, but that also will be the bot emitter being thrown out by Corndog, who's getting very low here. Pops the Iron Skin, also uses a Condemn. Unfortunately, won't be able to go down, as the Nocturnal Embrace will be able to finalize that kill onto them. We also have the Uther finding a kill onto Leoric, but in the end, we do have the Mal'Ganis getting traded out, so at least they find themselves a couple kills on the side of Illidancing Queens, as this is going to be Yotaru holding this over, but Hooked on Phoenix gets traded out. So this is now going to be control point back over the side of Deep Fried Ragaros, and we are still about a level to 2 levels away from our 10 talent here, and this is still going to be top lane pushing up the entire time. Rhaegar now coming up here to deal with that, and this is going to allow them to have even easier time. Actually, this wave actually might even take out the top lane well, so they can maybe hard push mid lane, try and take down the Keep Front Gate. Not something we often do see, but the main purpose of rotating to top with the Triglav Protector is to weaken that top lane. Maybe they can actually just go straight for the fort itself and just be able to grab that, because that getting rid of that and making the retreat path from the enemy team a little bit more difficult is always a benefit when you are going to be in some of these dragged out team fights. But Sestrin's going to be able to find a kill onto the Gul'dan, but Greyman's going to get picked off as well. Deathwing is going to be able to find the kill onto that Leoric, as Svenla's going to be trying to get the heal out. Unfortunately, is not going to be able to heal up enough, and they get picked off as well. Looks like the members of Illidancing Queens will be able to find first Triglav Protector. Excuse me, not even first one, because we still have low death timers, and this is actually going to be, I thought they had way higher percents. They've got quite a ways to go on this one. And the other thing to note too is that both the teams are kind of neck and neck looking for their 10 talent here. We can actually cycle through some of the other stats and get an idea. Also, by the way, double cleanse coming out from Rhaegar and Uther. Just a quick thing I want to note. So they need to make sure that they're not going to be overstacking those cleanses, and they at least, you know, call out who's going to be cleansing. Bloodlust in the bush play. That's going to be Horrify coming out. There was an Entomb as well. Deathwing going to use the Cataclysm. Going to go over quite a few members. They're going to use that conveyor belt to get back into the team fight. 10 talent here, not just here on the side of Illidancing Queens. They are going to be able to grab that. Dark Conversion was picked up by the Mal'Ganis. Going to be trying to swap some life out from one of these enemy players when they get a little bit low, but don't forget there is a bit of a channel into that. Night Rush after the Divine Storm. Very good follow-up into that, and that's going to be 3 kills. Gola trying to actually drain Hope, trying to get the suck, if you will. Unfortunately, they won't be able to find the kill onto them. Fortunately, Alexstrasza will be getting picked off, so they will be able to find a Triglav Protector for themselves, and now they can kind of push back the pressure that was added in top lane, as well as maybe manage mid a bit better as well. Yeah, they're gonna. I think I would expect them just to get a little bit of damage onto this front gate. Typically, you want to play this from the higher side, do this so that you don't have both towers shooting at you. But Deathwing will be flying up into the sky, using that Skyfall to poke at the Gul'dan in mid lane, and now they've actually got a massive wave in top lane on top of this. This is actually really big for them. But this is the one thing I was just talking about. We can kind of show it here. You want to play from this upper side of the lane when you're in the Triglav Protector. That way, the towers won't be focusing. Both of them won't be able to focus you, because you can use the Gunner to take down that second one, but also be able to poke at this well and take that down. As I always harp on that factor, it's so impactful and so important to be able to take that in the early factors of the game, because the fact that Control Point B is going to be insanely more difficult because there's no lane sustain. Now they themselves, their well was attacked a little bit earlier, but looks like this Triglav Protector is only going to be having 2 health, and so they'll be going down in just a few seconds here. I think they should be able to. The damage over time actually might be the thing that takes it down. How much health is on this? 165. Yeah, there you go. Triglav Protector goes down. Deathwing landed in bottom lane as well, making sure they're going to be picking up this experience. A little bit of back and forth right now as we just kind of rotate between lanes. Tasty, how's it going, friend? Good to see you. Unfortunately, this is no Bloodlust game, which is a bit sad. Deathwing went Burn Beneath My Shadow. I think that's wrong. I got it right this time. So that will be anytime a fort goes down. I believe it's only when it's an enemy fort. Yeah, an enemy fort or keep goes down, the Cataclysm resets. So sometimes you'll see teams push in through a lane. They'll use the Cataclysm, get into the back line, force back the enemy team, then they take down the keep, and then they have the Cataclysm again, or the fort. They have the Cataclysm reset, so that way they can either use it as a disengage tool or just use it as chase potential later on. Because I believe it is a 120-second cooldown on the actual ability itself. It's quite a long time. Hold on, let's just find out right here. Oh no, only 90 seconds. I think maybe it starts at 100. Does it start? Maybe it starts at a higher number. I can't remember, but it's just like, I don't feel like it's 90 seconds when we start the game. Either way, Cataclysm comes through. That's going to be the Ancestral Healing connecting onto Pina Colada. I think they did have Dark Conversion, and they used it at some point. I'm not sure who they hit with that, as Alexstrasza goes into the Cleansing Flame, gets a little bit of healing to the friendly team, and forces back the enemy side. Control Point B should be popping up somewhere in the 11 to 12 minute mark in the game. Leoric making sure that they're going to be soaking up experience and pushing out the lane a little bit further, as the support camp will be grabbed here on the side of Illidancing Queens. Born to Shine threaten my family over not scheduling our flex match. Press F so that you can see my family again. Oh no. I know those NGS mods. They'll go to extreme lengths to make sure that flex matches get scheduled, and I didn't realize it was that extreme. Please, everyone in chat, somehow get Tasty's family back for him. So we have no Bloodlust, unfortunately. Cursed Bullets actually picked up, but once again, unfortunately for the members of DeFry Ragaros, it's not going to be for them. Hold on, this is actually going to be another engage popping up right here. Pro Shock is taking quite a bit of damage. There was a Curse Bolt that went out. Alexstrasza getting picked off right there. We have the Johanna stepping up into the backline, trying to find some split pressure into this fight, but they end up just going down as they're trying to rotate towards their friendly side of the map. And unfortunately, the flank didn't work out. I think they were trying to maybe collapse, like they were trying to have this grouping on the left end and Johanna kind of coming together, use the Condemn to allow Gul'dan to really get a lot of value, but I think they burned quite a bit of their ability power during the early phases of that fight. Now we are going to be seeing Sestrin and King Andrew still battling out in bottom lane as they get that little leap in that bite as well. I haven't played enough in the Destroyer form. I always like the Worldbreaker form just because I feel like it clears waves really quickly, but this Destroyer form in a 1v1 situation seems to be working out pretty good, as King Andrew is being forced back every single time they engage each other. Jumping up into the top lane, we will be having 16 talent here picked up by the members of Illidancing Queens. They're going to be on the point. They'll be able to hold this over. Without 16, yeah, they're considering maybe we get a dive onto Sestrin, who did just step way too far forward. Cataclysm's off cooldown, and they're not going to use it though. Just extra flame buffet because they're trying to get the cooldown reduction, because they did go into the flame buffet build. So that Flames of Fury once it is completed, and once you hit someone who's already on fire, that engulfed flame from Alexstrasza gets you the, I think it's 5 seconds cooldown onto the Dragon Queen form, so it's pretty notable. And Sister Healing is going to connect onto Hooked on Phoenix, as there was a Blessed Shield out as well. Sestrin's going to be diving in, but they need to back off as well. They do have a full bar of energy, so they could try and use the Flame Breath to zone back the enemy team. Doesn't seem like it's necessary, as still no 16 talent here on the opposing side. That is going to be Deathwing flying into the sky, and they'll go ahead and drop down when necessary. They did go, as I said earlier, they went to that Skyfall. That's why you're seeing those meteors fall down. They get, I believe, 3 of those. And I think you can wait for those to recharge, but it takes a bit of time. And right here, they were mostly, I think, flying up to be able to get the full armor plating black. They might have been missing 1 or 2 charges, but just to be full and ready to go for the team fight's the best thing you can be, as well as the enemy team hitting 16 talent here as well. We'll go ahead and check out how this fight works out, as Alexstrasza is trying to rotate through the Cleansing Flame to get right out of there is perfect, as Rotar is taking way too much damage. It's going to be the Cataclysm coming through. Gola takes quite a bit themselves. Uther, the first one to go down, does have some ghost healing for the majority of the friendly team. Deathwing steps forward trying to bite onto Gola, does find the kill onto them. Gul'dan will be out of that one. It's so much poison damage thrown onto Pro Shock, and Alexstrasza gets picked off as well. Seems like the members of Illidancing Queens have found their stride. They're going to go ahead and take down this fort before the Triglav Protector is even grabbed. And now the question that I have to them is how they're going to play this. There's many different ways you can play this control point, or this Triglav Protector. My personal favorite, especially with the 4 members down on the opposing side, is you try and rush through top lane and you try and take a keep, so that way you can get consistent catapult pressure during control point C phase through the bottom, or during the bottom lane phase. But either way, they're going to move into mid, they're going to take out the fort, they're going to get themselves more periodic Never mind, they're gonna rotate to bottom lane and prep it for the control point in C. Thank you. I'm glad that they used the indicator so I knew exactly where they were going. Special Kid Miles, thank you so much for the tier 1 subscription. Thank you for 3 months of support, my friend. I'll resend your alert when we get out of this game. Karamu, what's up, bud? Thanks for coming by. Mithril Mace, doubtful. Was Mithril Mace? Oh, let's look at this in a second. The Cataclysm was just used, and this is what I was just talking about. So there's full reset onto it, and mostly I think that was used as a zoning potential because there is damage on the ground that if you do step onto, will, dear lord, your tower taking damage right there. But if you do step on it, it works the same way as like Ragaros with the lava wave. You're still going to take damage when you step into the burnt ground underneath it. Mithril Mace, though. Nearby enemies, so you're increasing his attack speed by 20%. Hold on, Cataclysm coming through. It looks like they want to re-engage onto this. They have the dive. They're just focusing Gola here. Every single time Cestern goes in, they're just focusing onto the Gul'dan Force in the back, and that actually is working out really well for them. It's just attack speed. All it is attack speed. If anything, Spectral Leech is going to work out best for them. 2.5% of the hero's maximum health and heal the orc for that. That's not bad. I suddenly, now suddenly I can Chromecast Baja again afternoon. You know what it might have been, Lingaria? I talk about this all the time, but you might have missed it. It might have been transcoding. I might have not had transcoding that day. Which, ironically enough, I always go through this rant, but I need to have a certain amount of viewership, but some of my viewers can't watch my stream if I don't have transcoding, so it's a bit of an odd one right there. Either way, Deathwing is actually, oh my god, the Deathwing model being pacified from Alex Straza is so, I'll be honest, it was cute. It was real cute, because that was the pacify coming out from her right there. Oh my god, that's hilarious. The model size being like, it basically looked like we had a walking Brightwing. Either way, 20 talent tier is going to be up in favor for the members of our red team. Illidancing Queens are looking for some way to be able to take this game here, but they're not too far behind on the opposing side. We can actually go ahead and we'll cycle through some of the other numbers. Ooh, big thing to note too, Uther did not go into redemption, so there's no, they're not gonna come back to life after a couple seconds. This is gonna be the Cataclysm coming through, gets to the far side of the fort. This is what I was talking about earlier as well. You get to the far side and then you try and play into the enemy team. Right now, actually, they're starting to back out immediately. Once again, reset going to be hitting onto the Cataclysm, so they go ahead and use it immediately and step into this enemy team. That's gonna be Divine Storm coming out from the Uther. This is a lot of damage out from, oh, that Gul'dan throwing the Horrify out as well, and that's going to be exactly what you needed from the Leoric with the Entomb. They're going to go ahead and find the kill onto Deathwing. Leoric will be able to Wraith Walk a short distance away to be able to get further out of that one, as Uther will be going down. Utaro trying to make their way out as they end up getting picked off as well. Pina Colada's is going to get pacified, and that's going to be a speed reduction on top of that. Ooh, very good Dark Conversion going to be coming out. Wait, did it get canceled? Why didn't it, or did it, or did they burn through the health pool that quickly? Well, they're just trying to avoid as much damage as possible. There's no Ancestor healing. There's no way that Pina Colada makes that out of this. Just cue the Yakketies, yep, right there. I was gonna say cue the Yakketies music, but we also do have our top lane still pushing in, catapulting the 3 units from the siege camp, still apply a lot of pressure, and that's actually going to be the front gate going down as Pro Shock is going to try and aggro them onto themselves. Unfortunately, realistically, the only thing they'd aggro onto potentially is a side wall. Actually, I don't think they aggro onto side walls. Leoric does push out bottom lane. It's 20s up on both sides, and this is going to be potential Triglav Protector in favor for the members of Deep Fried Ragaros. Good back and forth thus far in this game, and that was a wonderful team fight that really started to bring it back for Deep Fried Ragaros. I'll get the Chromecast Ultra so I can watch Bandit and Galeria's 60 FPS. Is it really just one of those things that like it's just the Chromecast doesn't go that way? Yay, I caught it just in time to watch some. Kaim, you missed nothing. We're in game 1 of match 1 of our 3 best of 3s. We got 3 best of 3s this evening. We got a whole lot of good games. And we got a BarkBox raffle as well. You could win a BarkBox for your dog. We'll do that a little bit later in the stream, as that's going to be the shielding coming out from Uther. There's the cleanse out onto Greymane. Ancestral Healings connects onto Yotaro as well. Everything is being used onto them, and they're trying to keep them alive as they actually get the Razor Swipe away. Unfortunately, not going to be far enough away, as Sestring going to be trying to make their way out of here. King Andrew chasing onto this. That's going to be the Spectral Leash should be enough, as they try to use the... They tried to use the charge to get out of there. It was a very, very short hop. A very short hop. Huge staggered death, yeah. This is actually huge for the members of Deep Fried Ragaros too. Pork box raffle? Yeah, there will be. We're probably gonna do it after match number 2. So after, oh god, I forgot to write down the full names, and I just wrote down the abbreviation. It's like Bread Rise Yeast Esports versus Phoenix Rising Ruby is gonna be our next matchup, so we'll do it after that one. So after our second best of 3, we'll do the Bark Box thing. But either way, this is going to be Trigola Protector potentially pushing into core to end game 1. We'll see if Deep Fried Ragaros can take it here, as so far it seems to be working out for them. Dragon Queen form will be popped by the Alexstrasza. Trigola Protector way too healthy, and that will be game number 1 going over to the members of Deep Fried Ragaros. GG. Well played. I got a Gen 1 Crowcast. I can only watch you, Kaldor, so I must get a newer Crowcast to watch your streams on TV. Oh my god, Hero Sharebot, what's going on? Lingari, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, Special Kid Miles, thank you so much for the Tier 1 subscription for 3 months. Thank you so much for all the support, my friend. I really appreciate it.
I will follow you to the end of the world. Subscribe.
Bongo tap.
Bongo tap. Indeed. Y'all mess with Deathwing's win rate. There's no N in Deep Fried. Is it wrong on the team names? Oh, I have Deep Fried Ragaros. Hey Svenla. All right, let's update the scores. My pleasure. Thanks for the games. But we're not done just yet. Let's find out Born to Shine. First pick or map pick? Deathwing topping every set as you expected. Mm-hmm. Just counterable. Definitely counterable. Diplomatic victory. What do you want? First pick, so what? Map. I keep writing amp. Okay. Let's update this. Let's get that. Okay. There's no N on the NGS page. I'm confused. What are you talking about? It's supposed to be Ragaros or Ragnaros, like the character. Oh, excuse me. Hold on. Excuse me, chat. I'm sorry I said Ragnaros instead of Ragaros. I'm sorry, that's what? I get that I misspeak, but like, it was one time, all right? Let's chill a little bit. All right. Let's get into our next map. Team 2. All right. And then they have all the same portraits, so we'll just go ahead and invite both teams in at the same time. And this one. Cool, 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 cool. That's all good. All right. There are no mistakes, just happy accidents. No. No, when you're casting, you're not allowed to say one wrong thing. Ever. Ever. Don't ever say one wrong thing once when you're casting. Like, someone was giving me, there was one night when I was casting and I said, what was it? I said Wrath instead of Wraith for one of the Leoric talents, and someone got angry at me in chat. I've had people DM me corrections on things that I said wrong once, and it's just like, I get it, but at the same time, like, you have to realize that, like, I'm casting and doing all this at the same time. I'm going to make mistakes, so please bear with me. Wrong copy. All right, that's all set. Yeah, okay, cool. No mistakes ever. Yeah, exactly. You can never make a mistake while casting, ever. I remember making mistakes during Tespa and getting Twitter messages and stuff about saying the wrong talent during a team fight. Yeah. All right, we got one team ready, and we'll figure out if team one is. Oh, ready team one. There it is. Cool. All right, let's push the buttons, and let's go ahead and find ourselves in our next map, everybody. We will be going to... Welcome back, everyone, to the Nexus Gaming Series. My name is Bahamut. We find ourselves in our first best of 3 of the evening. This is going to be a Division C East matchup between Deep Fried Ragaros versus Illidancing Queens, and this is going to be Tomb the Spider Queen for map number 2. And if you're sitting at home trying to figure out how we got to Tomb, it's okay. I got you covered. Don't you worry, don't you fret, don't you fear. We have got our map screen. Home team this evening is going to be the members of Deep Fried Ragaros. They did lose the coin flipped, opting for first pick on the side of Illidancing Queens. They're going to ban out Alterac Pass and Curse Hollow. Infernal Shrines and Braxis Holdout will be banned out by the members of Deep Fried Ragaros. We have Volskaya chosen by them and won by them. So we are going to be having the members of Illidancing Queens opting for first pick priority in game number 2, meaning that our winning team is going to have to choose a map, and it's going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen. Let's go ahead and get back into the draft and find out what we get here for our initial bans. Gul'dan will be banned out as they do not want to deal with Gula's Gul'dan once again. Vala going to be the pick as well. Seems like everyone's reading Mockery's breakdown of new Vala's talents and just kind of going with that one right there. Slides into Baja's DMs for that sweet, sweet grammar. No, you shouldn't. I mean, I read things backwards 9 times out of 10, so I'm dyslexic is always good. Perfection should not be the expectation, just entertainment. Thank you, Neo. Thank you. You know who doesn't ever say anything wrong? Exactly, Bandit. Exactly, yeah, it's true. Bandit is the only one who does not say anything wrong. I was expecting perfect. Bandit is perfection. He's the embodiment of it. Hugemon, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Best boy confirmed. Woohoo subs. There's new Vala information. It's basically, it's just Mockery did a whole breakdown on the Heroes Hearth website of a build for her. So I was just making a joke that someone read it, and now they're afraid of it. But Arya will be banned out as she is quite the nuisance, as she did have some changes that came into her Resurrect. We also have Deathwing being banned out, so that's going to be some respect, but also they're going to be getting rid of any sort of Deathwing chance against themselves. And we have a Joanna first pick, and it's really, really strong for Tomb the Spider Queen. Very strong when it comes to rotating between lanes, grouping up the minions. Excuse me. And then you have something like a Jaina or a Kael'thas to clear that out. Garrosh Jaina will be picked up on the left-hand side, so they're at least removing that away from the enemy's team, but we could still see a Kael'thas here. You know, you could grab a Kel'Thuzad, but that's a little bit later in the draft typically, and also Kel'Thuzad isn't really the best for wave clear when it comes to your mages. He's more of your single target burst damage when you're going up against heroes. The one thing I was also considering too is, do you try and steal away the Rainer here? Typically a lot of Jainas are going to be paired with the Rainer, but we go ahead and get Indiff B in chat's favorite hero in the game, Zul Jin. We're going to be seeing Tassadar paired with that as well, so this is definitely going to be double support. You rarely, if ever, see Tassadar as the solo support in these games, and there's not like there's a lot of self-sustained. I mean, Joanna's got her Iron Skin, and Zul'jin does have some self-sustained, but typically you're not looking to just fully bank only through that, so we'll have to see what's going to be folding out with the rest of that draft right there, but they will ban out the Rhaegars. They're at least targeting down what they saw in the last game, and they're like, you know what, that Rhaegar, not a good time to deal with that, so let's go ahead and get rid of it, as Uther might be a little bit more slower when it comes to the healing. They could look for something to potentially burst down multiple heroes, so you don't have that chain heal, because like chain heal from Rhaegar is a little bit more impactful than just the standard single target from Uther, which I can't think off the top of my head, or his Q as well, which you have to kind of line people up with. So I like it. Also, just Rhaegar does a lot of good damage, but there's going to be the Rainer ban, as I was talking about earlier, as you want to try and take that away from the enemy team. They also did show that they had a pretty decent Rainer player in the last game. I believe Pro Shock actually played that Rainer, but they're going to grab a Hanzo instead, so it's going to be a little bit more poke. They're going to have some wave clear with that Hanzo if they go into the explosive era at level 4, and then Ana will be paired into all this with the nano boost onto the Jaina potentially. Gonna lurk, have a great stream, cast the Frolic out of these business. Thank you so much, Cookie. I appreciate it, bud. But who subs? I didn't even see that. Very good, butt spot. Joanna Zul'jin, Tassadar. Ooh, okay, this is not what I was expecting. So Ragnaros will be in the solo lane, and then they're going to pick up an Anduin as well to round this out. So that means there's a lot of damage to be banked off the Zul'jin during their wave clear phase, but also on the note of wave clear, Tassadar does pair into this really well because they've got great wave clear with the Psionic Storm. I actually really like this grouping coming out from the members of Illidancing Queen. Sorry, I went through like 6 different names tonight, but there we go. We got it right. To round out the rest of the draft, they're going to need a solo laner into the Ragnaros. I actually like the Blaze quite a bit here. I was thinking they might consider the Leoric, because even the Leoric would be great with this. You have the Warlord's Challenge, you have an Entomb, you could still go into Ring of Frost or Waddle Elemental, and that's sustained damage. You have a great kind of area for Hanzo just to kind of aim all of his arrows into as well, but the Blaze is going to work out pretty well on top of all of this as well. Bunker's going to be a good way to mitigate some damage, or they go into Combustion. This is the one map where I see a decent amount of Combustion being popped. Actually, you know what? Infernal Shrines too. I feel like I see a lot of Combustion on Infernal Shrines as well as Tomb of Spider Queen. But let's go ahead and get back over here. And where did Baja say the Valaka article was located? Mockery posted it on Twitter today, and I believe it's on the Heroes Hearth website, the HHE website. I'm like 50% sure. I didn't read it fully, but I think he usually posts all of his stuff there. Like, he usually writes up a bunch of stuff and then posts it on that website. So I would check his Twitter first, because it's probably going to be somewhere up high in that, and then the website. Heroes butt. There you go. Screenshot that one and send it to Workhorse. Alrighty, everybody. Let's go ahead and get on into game number 2 of our first best of 3. On the left-hand side, we got the members of Deep Fry Ragnaros trying to take this series in 2-0 fashion. We got Pro Shot going to be on the Jaina, Gola going to be on the Hanzo, Svenla's going to be on the Ana. We got King Andrew on that Blaze, and Corndog will be on the Garrosh. On the right-hand side, we got the members of Illidancing Queens trying to take us to a game number 3. Born to Shine going to be on the Anduin. Hooked on Phoenix will be on the Tassadar. Yotaru will be on the bad guy Zul'jin. We got Pina Colada on the Joanna, and we have Sestrin on that Ragnaros. Let's go ahead and get into our level 1 Bone Slicer at 1. I'm just kidding. There's no way they're going Headhunter in this. It's if you deny 1 kill, then you're mitigating a massive range increase. Also 2% damage. But that damage is every time you get the kill, not when you finish out the quest. So you will be able to at least get 8% because it maxes out at 10, obviously 2% per hero killed. Ragnaros going to be in the bottom lane, going into the blaze down there. Let's actually check out what King Andrew is going to be managing, how they're going to be managing this lane. Sorry about that. I was just making sure we have all of our vision set up right now as Yotaro just dumping in damage. Huge groundbreaker coming out from Garrosh, actually getting 3 members with that one. I believe once you get the 5 stacks, you get the additional damage. The big thing is going to be the cooldown reduction from hitting 15 heroes. But if you're already hitting 3 right there, that's a good start for them. The other thing to note too is they are going to be focusing on top to mid rotations, especially on the side of Deep Fried Ragaros. The reason being is because you have this Jaina with the Mana Addict at level 1, excuse me, the Fingers of Frost at level 1, so she's going to be trying to stack 20 of those up as quickly as possible for the 10% frostbite damage increases. There's a short-range leap of faith, but that's going to be the toss into Johanna just to kind of disrupt things a little bit. Zul'jin still throwing an Axis, sitting at 3 out of the 30 necessary, so they got quite a ways to go. Jaina, a quarter of the way through her Fingers of Frost at level 1 already. Ragnaros did go into Sulfurous Hungers. Empower Sulfurous, I always mix those two up, but Empower Sulfurous is going to be the actual Q ability. This is typically what I actually still go into. I still go into hammer build because as you get into the later half of the game and you're going to be team fighting more, you can hit Q and smash into a hero and regain quite a bit of health. So at least when I'm playing Ragnaros, seems to work out for me quite well. But I do like the way that at least they're playing this. They're not forcing the wave too quickly. They're not, because they could throw Blast Wave onto themselves and step this up. They could even throw it onto a minion. They could be throwing out their Shifting Meteor, but right now they're going to be playing this a little bit slower as they also don't want to step too far forward here and potentially get ganked. And so that's why you're seeing them step up there. They're trying to at least manage this, but they don't want to be too far forward there. This is going to be the rotation coming into the bottom lane. I don't think King Andrew saw them sneak down below. So that will be, and Ragnaros isn't even really showing either. So yeah, this is going to be them easily able to grab these Siege Giants down here, and that's the reason I kind of wanted to show whether or not they actually got that vision. Unfortunately, Sestrin's going to be getting caught out of position, and they will be getting picked off. They have to leave the Siege Giant. They got one. Born to Shine considering stepping up and getting those 14 gems that were dropped. Unfortunately, not going to be able to do that. Actually, I think it's 17 because they drop a couple extra. No. To the opposing side, sorry. 14 gems were dropped from the Ragnaros. I thought for some reason they drop extra, and I was like, why would it drop gems for the friendly team? That doesn't make any sense. They're like extra gems. It's not like it's like Alarak with their, I believe it's the 13 talent where they actually get value from friendly members dying. But right now, Tassadar still going to be down here. Hooked Phoenix going to be giving a shield over to Yotaro, who will finish out the camp. Doesn't seem like they're going to be able to sneak down there and grab that themselves on the side of Deep Fried Ragaros. But same team is going to be looking at a Web Weaver phase for themselves, as they're about 3 gems off, so they're 1 minion wave away on the side of Illidancing Queens, as they also are going to be looking for 7 talent tier in just a second for both sides, as there's just a bit of a hassle and heckle during this rotation phase shift coming out from Hooked on Phoenix as well, that dimensional shift just to make sure they're not going to get picked off. Another great groundbreaker coming out from Corndog. That's going to be 12 out of the 15 stacks on that Warbreaker at level 1. That's huge for them. Tassadar nearing the halfway mark for the Scion Fusion as well. Before they even get tossed, they're going to be getting picked off by the Hanzo right there, and so that's going to be another kill in favor for the members of Deep Fried Ragaros. And now they force up this top lane, and I think they should be able to get their turn because, well, they only need 1, and we can actually show everyone but Hanzo has at least 1 gem on them, so it's going to be a little difficult of a defense right now, especially with Tassadar being down, or at least coming back from the Hall of Storms. Tassadar is their main source of poke, realistically. I mean, Anduin's got a little bit with that Divine Star. Svenla tries to throw out the Sleep Dart, but ProShock should be able to grab this. There's the Danger Ping, unfortunately. It's going to be a touch too late, and that will be first Web Weaver phase going over to the side of Deep Fried Ragaros. I kind of like both drafts, to be honest. Rooting for Illidancing Queens, then for a game. Yeah, I mean, I'm always up for a game 3. Corndog does get the toss on. Oh, that's a leap of faith to save him. I like the response from the Anduin to kind of answer all of those tosses, because the Anduin did come out way later in the game. It was actually their last pick, because they did the Johanna, I'm blanking on the name, Zul'jin, Tassadar together, and then the last 2 picks were the Ragnaros and the Anduin after the second ban phase. But now top lane still getting pushed in. Blaze is going to be rotating into bottom lane to force back Ragnaros a little bit right now. Gonna go ahead and it's a little ironic that the team named after a hero isn't playing said hero. And just a fun fact, I said this earlier, but if you didn't know, the team members of Deep Fried Ragaros are a merger of two teams from Heroes Lounge. There was Deep Fried Pizzas, and they used to often go up against and scrim against Behold Ragaros. So perfect enough while I'm explaining it to see that pop up. But that was just one of the things that, like, it's always a little fun fact that, like, two teams that played against each other ended up scrimming, ended up just merging into one team for NGS. It was just a little cool thing that, you know, even teams that you battle against could eventually just be the people that you end up playing with. But 10 Talonteers will be rounding in just a second, so while that's happening, we're going to cycle through some of the other numbers, get an idea of what those look like, as we have had a couple kills thus far. Born to Shine trying to make their way up, but King Andrew rounds the corner saying hello as Blaze. Going to try and body block as much as they can. Unfortunately, it's Joanna, so they're not going to be able to body block forever on that one, and that will be them picking up the majority of the gems that were dropped from the Anduin. I'm looking around the map right now just to see what these teams are going to be playing for. They don't have enough for a turn-in. They need like another 11 more, if I'm not mistaken, on the side of Deep Fried Ragaros to be able to get that. So until then, it's just going to be rotations. Maybe even looking for a pick here, as Sestrin's showing in top lane. They've got quite a few here. Hanzo could rip an arrow, and if they can get that... We can actually check here after the stats go through. I'm curious to see what that total stun time was, because I mentioned it earlier and I was like, oh man, I'm unsure about which one, like how it steps up. I think it's like 0.5 to 1 it's like 0.5 seconds to 1 second to 2 seconds, but that 1 to 2 seconds feels like way too big of a jump. We'll double check here in just a second after we look through the rest of the talents. 10 talents here should be rotating through in for the members of Illidancing Queens in just a second. With that, I would expect there to be a massive team fight in mid lane, as well as the fact that both teams are going to be looking for some sort of turn in here. Archon form was picked up by the Tassadar. I'm just waiting to see if there's anything that really stands out to me. I mean, Archon form, I'd say, is pretty standard at this point. I was kind of hoping for a Force Wall, just because they're always so fun. Zul'jin did go into the Tastingo at level 10 as well, so just going to be trying to get some extra damage out and just continually fight in some of these hairy situations. As Jaina's still holding their 10, it is going to be Ring of Frost as it just now gets picked up. But now we have a bit of back and forth poke. That's going to be King Andrew with a great jet propulsion. There's going to be a toss out from the Garrosh as well. Corndog in a bit of a rough spot is going to be getting picked off as the Ring of Frost connects onto two players. Leap of Faith pulls the Tassadar out of the stun, or the root, I believe. Here's the one thing I wanted to look really quickly. It's 1.25. Okay, that's the thing that I was unsure about. So yeah, there's the 3 steps, so it's 0.5 to 1.25 to 2. There we go. I can finally see it and then forget it. Anduin's nice saves. Yeah, seriously, Anduin's had some really, really good plays this game. But either way, Red Webweavers will descend in favor for the members of Illidancing Queens. This will be the second Webweaver phase of the game, so first for the members of Illidancing Queens. Both teams have had 2, by that math, by that caster math. This should be Tastingo. Did I misread this? No, it's Tastingo, okay. Light Bomb going to be coming out as well. Born to Shine trying to make their way out of there, as they did find a kill onto the Zul'jin. But now they're going to step back, go ahead and clear out at least top lane. They're going to be focusing on top lane a little bit here due to the fact that it is going to be the boss lane. So you have to worry a little bit about the fact that that could be forcing its way through and, well, just shredding into everything. Meanwhile, in mid lane, this is going to be, oh my god, a lot of things being used here just to stop Corndog from even stepping up. Iron Skin going to be used as well. Oh, can they get to Sestrin? Blast Wave is out. I thought Blast Wave was going to save them, but that's going to be just the chain CC coming in. Nice Leap of Faith to save them once again. That's going to be the Ring of Frost out from the Jaina as well. They're going to be focusing on to Pina Colada, who's trying to make their way up, but that's going to be the Eye of Horus getting quite a bit of damage in there. And now Hooked on Phoenix may have made a bad dimensional shift as they were trying to pick up all those gems. The toss goes out, and that's going to be quite a few gems being lost on the side of Illidancing Queens. And they had a turn in potential. I think they actually had back-to-back turn in potential, and that's going to be Red Webweaver phase just ending on the note of them losing 2 players and then Blue Webweavers descending. This is a great place for Deep Fried Ragaros to be in. They're on the defensive back foot. They've got just about everyone up, but once again, they're on the defensive back foot, which is kind of a hard spot to be in, especially when you have a decent wave stepping up into you, and this top lane is a little stacked up right there. He was taunted, you believe? Okay, thank you, Shredded Wind. I didn't see the taunt come out. I was watching his name, and I just saw I didn't see a taunt or anything above his name. I might have missed it, but still, I was just like, wow, it's weird that they didn't just. They were probably still sitting there mashing R, and so it must have been some sort of stun or taunt or exactly what you said. But yes, 37 gems being lost right there. Yotaru going to be the target, I think, once again. But they decide not to get the toss out. Either way, Blaze will be in bottom lane pushing that up, and mid lane is freely pushing. So it's going to be top lane going down to the Web Weaver, but mid is going to be going down as well. Bottom lane is going to be pressed up, but there's no wave with it. Oh, but look at this aggressive rotation. They should see this happening here. If they can get a Groundbreaker, that should be Sistren Throne. Sleep Dart. Hanzo rips the arrow into their face. Warlord challenge as well, and that will be the gems. I'd say, what, 10 of the 20-some gems right there were picked up? Because I think those big gems are, I think there was like 22 on Sistren. Hey, Bob, glad to see you streaming. Work today sucked. I'm sorry about that, Shinkari. I actually saw on Twitter, I meant to respond to you. You're only eating like 1,500 calories? Holy crap. I saw you already burned through your calorie count today. Sorry, I know this is like nothing related to Heroes, but I saw it on Twitter and I was just like, dang, you're only eating that much? It's one of those, in hindsight, should have cut our losses moments. Exactly, yeah. Tassadar, I mean, here's the thing. Tassadar had a great idea, and don't get me wrong, I would have probably done the exact same thing if I was in their shoes, but as chat's saying, it's hindsight. We all know that, like, well, dimensional shifting from here to here just to get gems that drop there, not worth it. But obviously, we as the viewers who can see everything on the map and know where everything's going to be, positionally, yeah, we can say that. Unfortunately for them, they're going to be seeing this. Well, actually, for the Tassadar, it's going to be more like this. But we can actually hang around on this vision for a couple seconds, as looks like they're trying to deny any sort of setup for a turn-in here. They need 20 more gems to turn in. They only need to pick up 2 more, as that caster math is really starting to come in right there, as that's going to be a big old grouping down here. Lava wave coming through bottom lane as well, so this at least push back the minion wave. Won't take out the siege giants, but they're actually going to be losing a significant amount of gems from that wave as well. That's the only downfall of Ragaros or even Asmodan on a map like this, is you do have these opportunities where Asmodan and Ragaros are throwing damage into waves where no one's able to collect. That's a great late bomb to follow up. Ring of Frost going to be coming out onto a couple of members. Svenlug, the first one to go down, as a huge arrow was ripped from Hanzo from almost the Hall of Storms. That's going to be Garrosh going down as well. Bunker was out from Blaze. Looks like they're going to try and jump back in, but it does expire just as they end up stepping forward. But they only get 2 kills trading out their Ragnaros. They don't lose gems to the point where they don't have turn in here, but Blaze does need to hearth back. They're going to reset on the map, and this will be 16 talent tier picked up by the members of Illidancing Queens. Excuse me, during this time. Another thing to note as well, Zul'jin sitting at 11 out of the 30 stacks necessary. So the rough spot too is they don't even have the double revolve on the cleave. They didn't go into Arcanet Axis or anything, so it's not like they're trying to stack that up. But the massive factor is going to be the range increase that you get at the 30 stacks. Excuse me, I always do this backwards. My apologies. The attack range is the one thing that I wanted to harp on. So you get that at the halfway mark, which is 15. But it's the double cleave is another way to get more poke damage out and sustain damage in some of these fights, because a lot of people end up kind of standing around. Hooked on Phoenix does use the dimensional shift, as there was also a Warlord's challenge out from Garrosh. But that 1.1 range increase, while it may not seem like a ton, it allows Zul'jin to stand further back. I mean, they effectively go to a 6.6, which if we're looking, just range indicator right there, it's one of the further ranges in the game. I believe baseline Raynor is the only one who has a range like that. I feel like I'm wrong though. I think Raynor's range is like, it might be a little bit less than that. It might be, yeah, it might be, there you go, yeah, like it might be like a 6.5 or something like that. 6.5 out of 10. Either way, ramblings aside, another Web Weaver phase will be descending in favor for the members of Deep Fried Ragaros. There's going to be a lava wave coming out as well. Svenla going to get bodied before they're even able to step up with this Web Weaver, and that's going to be Pina Colada chasing in. There's an arrow from Hanzo as well, but this is mostly defensive, just to force back the enemy team. But they end up realizing, well, we can't keep chasing this, as there's a Web Weaver in top lane. Same thing in mid and in bottom, so they don't want to be losing out too much down here. Hooked on Phoenix using that double Psy Storm to be able to get a faster clear into this. Garrosh zoning a little bit with the Groundbreaker. Pina Colada going to get the grouping up with the Condemn right there, as they end up they're trying to make their way out of this, and that will be the Hanzo getting picked off. Corndog trying to dodge the damage. Ring of Frost comes out. Pro Shock ends up going down to the Psy Storm. I don't know why, but the Psionic Storm throw me off tonight. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, there's still going to be a Web Weaver, but it's not going to be solidifying a keep. So this is going to be a great defense coming out from the members of Illidancing Queens. Yo, Kaleo, what's up, bud? Good to see you, friend. I hope you're having a wonderful night. Illidancing Queens really hates range heroes. I mean, no, they got two. Tassidar's got range. Anduin's actually got range as well. All right. Red Web Weaver plus a boss coming in through top lane. This is typically actually what we see teams aim to utilize to end a game. Ana using Eye of Horus all the way from back there, which is a bit of an odd one for me. Just because of the fact that it's not going to get much damage here, and like realistically you might be better off here just because so many members are going to be in line pushing up. Regardless, boss is going to be triggered, or pushing up. This is going to be Web Weaver's descending. Corndog looking to back off, maybe trying to kite someone down towards their mid lane keep to get the gank onto them as they're just poking out a little bit with the Groundbreaker. Pina Colada is going to step up. They pop the Iron Skin just in time. There's going to be a lava wave from Ragaros. Now, they did use Molten Core for the defense. They won't have that up for this because it's a 2-minute cooldown onto that one. But there's a lot of pressure coming in through top lane, and they need to figure out a way to deal with this. Bottom and mid are not too big of an issue as ProShock's going to get picked off right there. They're looking to go ahead and chain CC onto this Blaze, but that is going to be them aching into the Hall of Storms. The boss will be going down, but Webweaver, I think, has still got a little bit of health in... No, I'm sorry, I couldn't even see it right there. Warlord Challenge goes out, Zul'jin does go down, and they also find the Ragnaros on top of it. Hanzo rips the arrow and finds a Tassadar, who ends up using the Dimensional Shift. Scatter Arrow coming out, trying to get that value. They end up using the Jet Propulsion, but finding the Joanna instead of Hooked on Phoenix. Look at theirs. Can they get the last shot? Hooked on Phoenix does have all the dips and the weaves, so they're not going to be getting hit with the Eye of Horus, but Pina Colada in a bit of a rough spot, and Hooked on Phoenix is looking to try and help out with some shielding. Iron Skin's still going to be there as well. They did pick up 20 talent here during all of this, but that's on the opposing side, and there's Gola looking for that last hit. But if I was wondering if I said it backwards, I thought the members of Illidancing Queens got that during that phase, and I was like, oh, she can just control like one or two, or I can't remember what is off the top of my head, but pick Indestructible. That's not actually what they're taking. They're going to be taking Radiating Faith, which is not something I often see being picked up for Joanna's at level 20. It's typically indestructible so that you don't die. Misclick is weird by Ana. Yeah, it was weird. Rag holding the line though through sheer force of will, basically. Jaina's managing the lanes, picking up some gems as well, making sure this doesn't stack up too much and they don't lose a potential keep. Mid lane is low. Top lane did lose a keep, so it's going to be constant catapult pressure coming through. And that fact that there's going to be a catapult every single wave rather than in like bottom lane, for example, which would be periodically. Whereas you're seeing it here, but you're not seeing it in this wave that's crashing. So bottom lane does have these siege giants as well. Let's actually jump over the vision for our blue team because it seems like they're kind of sharking around a little bit here, trying to maybe find the enemy team. Hanzo is showing in top lane. Let's jump over to the opposing side vision because we know where we sort of know where the blue team is. Sleep Dart connects onto one. Garrosh steps up. There's going to be the toss. They have, the Jet Propulsion doesn't connect and they use the phase shift as well. Lava Wave comes through mid lane. Ragnaros did go for the upgrade at level 20, so they're going to be having the extra Lava Wave charge. And they also have a cooldown reduction of 30 seconds on that as well. Radiating Faith is the best talent here. Indestructible is the worst. Really? This is like the first time I've ever seen Radiating Faith. Like, not first time ever, but like I see Indestructible always here. Unless you go into the upgrade for Falling Sword. I see that one here and there. Lockdown ability, if you're losing so much health on Joe that you need the Indestructible, you're playing badly. But what if you can bait people with it? I don't know. I don't play enough Joanna to argue it either way. I'm just skimming through talents right now just to see if we get anything that's really out of the ordinary. We do have Cold Snap for the Jaina. So you do have that center explosion on the Ring of Frost after a slight delay. That's going to be the double toss from the Garrosh with the Warlord Challenge as well. Life Bomb's going to be coming out from one. There's going to be the Eye of Horus from the Ana as they find the kill into Garrosh. This is going to be ProShock getting very low. There's a Ring of Frost that explodes. There's the center value from it, but Garrosh did go down. Hooked on Phoenix chasing on in as ProShock is trying to make their way out. They were trying to go for the turn-in on the Web Weaver phase, but that's not going to be happening anytime soon for either team. They got quite a few gems on both sides to pick up. On a note of boss really quickly, there's about 20 seconds until that's up and available, so we could be seeing teams try and split off and go for that one. But right now, they got 38 seconds without a Garrosh, and doesn't seem like they're too enticed to try and play this aggressively. Just like that, they're back in it, yeah. Situational talent can be used very good versus too much stun. Hanzo checking the boss right there. This is currently the vision for our red team, so they do see there's a couple members in top. Svenla showing, but not showing that they're at boss. Jumping over the opposing side. They know that the enemy team just rotated into top lane, but they gotta manage this mid. God, this is such a it's such a nerve-wracking spot to be in. They end up getting the red Web Weaver turn in here. This is going to be a 21-minute Web Weaver phase. This is going to be a strong one. Go pizzas. How's it going, F? Good to see you. I won't attempt to say your name and absolutely ruin it. All right, we got to pause. Yeah, but then you're taking Falling Sword. Looks like a DC from our Blaze player. Falling Sword ain't a bad talent. I had so many people tell me that it's not like, remember when like Joanna and Anduin, when Anduin first came out, it was just like Light Bomb Falling Sword, and then everyone was like. So the response was, I know Lava Wave is scary. I didn't think it was that scary because someone left the game. I like making fun of Falling Sword though, so I'm gonna say it is. If the enemy comes solely to kill you, Falling Sword is a free counter to their comp. Having Falling Swords for 9 levels is not worth it just to get the 20. Hanzo's scaring me. Shadana have gone on Nano. With the Jaina and the lockdown they're going for, I think they could have got a lot of value from it. Eye of Horus is gonna work, but I personally think that on a map where you're looking for, you got Garrosh lockdown, Blaze lockdown, on a setup in a sense with the Sleep Dart, and then Hanzo lockdown too, some spell power increase would be good as well, and cooldown reduction as well. But we're gonna go ahead and get back into it, and let's go ahead and get into our cast. All right. Did we lose audio? No, we didn't. All right. So red Web Weavers descend. Lava Wave is 66 seconds for the Ragaros. We're 22 minutes in the game roughly. Top lane keep is down and they're looking to end. I have never seen the 20 of... Oh my god. If you ever get the chance to play a brawl with Joanna, just take Falling Sword. It's so much fun. Especially when you get to 20 talent tier where you're able to then constantly get the reset onto it because there's so many members grouped up. Oh my god, speaking of members grouped up, Gola is trying to make it into the Hall of Storms, not going to be able to. The lockdown in front of the keep, or in front of the Hall of Storms is way too much. It's going to be Corndog in a bit of a rough spot, trying to get some healing out from Svenla, not going to be happening. Ringer Frost coming out from the Jaina as they actually have the Cold Snap in the middle, and that's not going to catch anyone. I thought it was actually, no, it's going to catch 2, and they're going to be able to get the kill into the Joanna. This is going to be King Andrew somehow still alive as well, and Born to Shine and friends are getting very low, but look at bottom lane. Bottom lane needs to be managed, and Jaina's gonna be able to do that. There's 2 catapults currently attacking the core. There's 30-some% health on this. They are able to force back Hooked on Phoenix and Born to Shine. I was gonna say Hadouken Phoenix, but this Web Weaver now approaching the core will get a little bit of damage. No, it won't. They're actually gonna counter all of this, and that will be the core saved at 22%. I didn't think that they'd be able to, but that Ring of Frost with the Cold Snap in the middle, that Cold Snap in the middle actually got the value they needed. That burst of damage, that 765 damage, was enough to lock down the Joanna as well as the Ragaros, and that is what solidified themselves. Oh, Hooked on Phoenix, are you trying to backdoor? Because this is real risky. An anonymous gifter gifted 1 sub to Kaim. Thank you so much, anonymous gifter. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream, and thank you for supporting the channel. Yo, Key, what's up? I can't believe they defended that, seriously. I can't either, but now they're showing in lane. The enemy team saw them, they can see that right there. What we saw right there was Hooked on Phoenix's vision, so they can either try and rush core, Oh man, this is such a tense moment because they can definitely rush core. Let's actually jump only to the vision for our blue team to see what they're seeing as they have lanes kind of pushed up against them. Oh, there's the Zul'jin showing in mid lane. You can see the Hearth's already coming out, so they're going to be at least going back. They still need to defend against this. There is going to be this camp through mid lane, so they're Hanzo play of the game, just kind of sniping them right there, but they won't have that for the next 63 seconds. It's something to consider as well. Another core defense coming out. There's going to be a couple members grouped up right there. Tostingo coming out. Light Bomb's going to be coming out as well. Tostingo value coming through, but they're getting way too low, and the core's starting to fall. Look at Hooked on Phoenix over there on the left-hand side. Born to Shine goes down. That's going to be the toss over onto one. Hooked on Phoenix goes down as well, but look at the core is getting a lot of damage from the Ragaros in the Molten Core form. 7% currently on the core, as they're going to be trying to rush this, and they actually end up getting the series. We go to a game 3 because Ragaros. GG, well played. Wow. Just wow.
Hello.
Dear Lord. I'm seeing right now people saying Rag carried. Look at that siege damage. What's up, War? How you doing, bud? Oh, okay, Langaria. All right. Well, while they're figuring out what they want to do for their map, let's go ahead and update the score. And, let me do this. All right, they're going to let us know what they want to do. During that time, we're going to get Bandit a treat. Because you donated for it. Thank you, Langaria. You don't want these, bud? Come say hi to stream. Come say hi to stream. Yeah, are you a good boy? Yeah, you had 2 walks today, so you're tired. Can I have a high five? Good boy. Can I have other paw? Good boy. Good boy, Bandit. Thank you so much. Lava's just OP on so many maps. Yeah. Tomb of Spider Queen, it can get some. It can definitely get some value. All right, let me go ahead. I got the lobby, or I got the map set up. We just got to get everyone in here, and we'll get going into game 3. Well, just like so far, like last week. So last week we did another one of these. We did a night of 3 best of 3s, and all 3 games went to a game 3. So that was actually a really, really fun night because we actually got to go to, you know, constant game 3s. So it made everything so much more tense. But I was worried the entire time because I was like, are we gonna be on time for our next matches? Because we obviously have back-to-back-to-back matches. I mean, our next one's in 19 minutes. So fingers crossed they don't mind waiting a couple minutes because we're just setting up for game number 3. All right, let's swap some people around here. Let's get the right players on the right team, and then we can get going here into our final game in our first best of 3 series. Wait, what? Not wrong, Rag. Deserve butted that. Yes, exactly. That's my kind of ASMR. Possibly cuter than little Ragaros. Possibly. Definitely. All right, we got to get one more player in here, and then we'll get going into our next map. Thank you all for hanging out. Thanks for supporting stream. Thanks for helping us work towards that Twitch partner goal. And thank you all for just being amazing people. I really, really do appreciate it. As noted before, we do have a bark box to raffle off, so if you are interested in trying to get one for yourself, we're going to be raffling that off at the end of the second best of 3 matchup. So we're just now getting to our first. Blonde Duchess. Another little treat. We're not going to make him get up for this one. We're not going to make him get up. You don't have to get up for this one because you're perfect. You're perfect. You just got comfy. I don't want to make you do that again. Can you shake? Can I just have a little shake? That's perfect. That's all you need to do. Yeah. Yes. Here you go, bud. Thank you, Blonde Duchess. Okay. I mean, the ending could have been cleaner. Absolutely. But when you win, you win. I just wanted to give some treats and some loves. Well, I think you appreciate it. Thank you so much, Blonde Duchess. Thank you, thank you. Treat for everyone. Exactly. Spooky Worm, let's go. Let's get into game number 2. Excuse me, game number 3 of our first best of 3 series.
Battlefield of Eternity.
Welcome back to the Nexus Gaming series, my friends. We are here in game number 3 on Battlefield of Eternity. And if you're wondering how we got here, I got you covered on that. The home team is going to be... I looked over at Twitch chat and I saw Bennett is like a baby C, and I'm just like, okay, perfect. I like that. The home team this evening will be Deep Fried Ragaros. They lost the coin flipped. The members of Illidancing Queens opted for first pick priority in game number 1. Alterac Pass and Cursed Hollow were banned out by the members of Illidancing Queens. Deep Fried Ragaros is going to be banning out Infernal Shrines and Braxis Holdout. Volskaya Foundry was the first map chosen by them and won by them. They opted for map pick priority on the side of Illidancing Queens for game number 2. Excuse me, first pick priority for game number 2, meaning that the map priority or map choice comes from Deep Fried Ragaros, and they won, or oh my god, dear lord. I'm trying to skip this as quickly as possible, but Tomb of Spider Queen was chosen by them for game number 2. They lost that, so the members of Deep Fried Ragaros opted for map pick priority, and they're going to be choosing to take us to Battlefield of Eternity for game number 3. Let's go ahead and get back into the draft. Let's find out what we get here, as the Vala will be banned out. We have a Garrosh being banned out as well. Things like Greymane on a map like this are extremely powerful. We actually do see Artanis pop up here and there on this map, so it is the one few times we do get to see that man blade dash around. Battlefield of Maternity. It's gonna be that now. Battlefield of Maturity, yes. Ariel will be banned out as well as the Hanzo. Getting rid of that race potential, but what do we see for our first pick? Is it just going to be Joanna once again? Strong anchor for a team. Blinds to slow down the race from the opposing side. I don't know if they have anything. Well, all right. Well, Deathwing's going to be popping up here. We'll see what kind of value he brings to the table in a push-based map. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I didn't mute myself, but I caught myself off guard with my own joke. Deathwing actually has a lot of good push pressure on a map like this because you do have the reset on Cataclysm at 10 if you do go into Burn Beneath My Shadow. But look at this immediately. They're like, you're going to grab Deathwing? We're going to go ahead and grab Greymane and Leoric, and that's going to be something really, really difficult for your Deathwing to deal with because you have Curse Bullet as well as percent-based damage coming in from the Leoric with the Drain Hope, as well as you could even go into Life Leech or I can't remember the name of the talent off the top. It's the 13 one where you actually get 2.5% of the hero's maximum health when you're autoing into them. No maturity allowed, yeah. Hanzo's amazing on this map too. Yeah, exactly, was. Rhaegar ETC, so we might be seeing some sort of Jaina Raynor shenanigans. I would actually look to maybe ban out the Raynor here or to ban out the Jaina. ETC with a Ring of Frost underneath, it's a rough go. Raynor is also not allowed, but is able to put in a lot of sustained damage on top of that. So actually going to get rid of the Zul'jin, as he's another hero that pops up here and there on Battlefield of Eternity, but looks like they played it well enough on the opposing side to warrant a ban. Tyrande, actually, yeah, Tyrande has quite a lot of value on a map like this. She's kind of been thrown to the wayside due to the fact that you have such a high priority onto Stukov, onto Anduin, onto Decker Kane, onto Ana as well. So it's just, it's rough. It's rough at points, but here we are going to be seeing another ban come out. It actually would... Li Ming really... Well, with the Grey Mane, actually, that makes a lot of sense. I was actually thinking it's going to be something like an Ana or even an Anduin as well. But members of Deep Fried Ragaros, they're going to be looking for 2 more picks here after our second ban phase. They have a Grey Mane Leorc, so they've got some damage and race potential as well as their solo lane. Going to need a main tank to pair into all this. Joanna's still up and available if they want to grab that, but it's a Nubrak. They want to dive with the Grey Mane, but they're going to grab an Alexstrasza as well so they can get that Dragon v Dragon matchup right there. And then we have the last 2 picks coming out from Illidancing Queens. Everyone loves Deathwing. That's true. Entomb is super strong versus Deathwing. Yeah, I can agree with that, Recliner. So, I'm trying to think like, did they maybe go into like Cassia or like Lunara or something? Not what I was expecting, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with this. Tracer Tassadar on Battlefield of Eternity can work out really well. ETC's got a lot of good zoning potential, and Rhaegar's got the chain heal to bounce around. You've also got the slowing totem from Rhaegar as well to help manage anyone trying to lock down or chase after the Tracer. Sorry, the heat kicked on once again in the house, so I have to manage that. I don't know why that's the weirdest thing. There's the Raynor last pick coming out from the members of Deep Fried Ragaros. I actually really like this for them. I was thinking it was going to be Raynor and Jaina for the opposing side, but they end up going to that Tracer Tassadar. So we'll see here how this all ends up working out, because sustained damage is very strong on the side of Deep Fried Ragaros. I mean, yeah, you have a Tracer as well, that's sustained damage, but like, Grey Mane and Raynor, when they get stuck on a target, it's going to be difficult, as well as a Nubrak disrupting all of that as well. This is going to be a very fun game number 3. And our first best of 3 series of the night. We've got 2 more of these coming up for all of you after this. Like, I hope you're all, you've ordered your pizzas, you've got all of the drinks that you need. Also, Pacify also works on Deathwing. Yeah, we actually saw that in game number 1 on Volskaya Foundry. They pacified Deathwing, and there was probably a good like 20 seconds of me just giggling about it because it looked adorable. I'm Confusion. Why is that? Alrighty, on the left-hand side, we're going to be getting the members of Deep Fried Ragaros. We're going to be seeing King Andrew on the Leorc. We're going to see ProShock on the Raynor. Corndog will be on the Anubrak. Svenla's going to be on the Alexstrasza, and Gola will be on the Grey Mane. On the right-hand side, we got the members of Illidancing Queens. We're going to be seeing ETC being played by Pina Colada. We're going to have Sestrin on the Deathwing. I was going to say Alexstrasza. Hooked on Finks will be on the Tassadar, Yotaro going to be on the Tracer, and Born to Shine on the Rhaegar. I like how, sorry, I'm looking over at Division B chat right now, and people are saying, I guess Bahamut's not casting us. 1, we still have 9 minutes. The game can go that short. 2, I was never asked. Like... Why is it just being assumed that I'm not casting a game? Alrighty, let's get into level 1 talents right now. Block party for the ETC. We are going to be actually checking out our bottom lane quite a bit right here. I'm a little surprised by the block party. Now, it does give stacks to friendly members, but the only thing I'm worried about is Raynor and Grey Mane being able just to shred right through those stacks being built up consistently. This is going to be the King Andrew versus Sestrin in top lane. I'm excited about this one right now. This is once again going to be really fun, as we actually saw this in game number 1, and that was the initial matchup as well. Let's go ahead and check out our bottom lane once again. Sustain versus race. Yeah, it's true. Easy 9-minute game winky face. See? The one thing I actually want to point out as well as I was watching in the draft, no one has any priority whatsoever onto a Sylvanas, which is wild to me. Especially on a map like this where you have so much push potential. And she also does race and fight fairly well over the Punishers. Like, I'm just a little surprised. That's all. Like, not even a ban priority onto her. So maybe the teams don't have a Sylvanas player, but just I'm surprised by the choices that they're making on that one. We currently have, let's see, we have Alexstrasza 11 stacks into the Flames of Fury already out of the 20 necessary. That is making quick work of that. But a lot of the members are kind of in this straight line, so it's working out quite well for her. And she also, it's not the longest cooldown to that one. Pulse Bomb does go onto Corndog. A lot of damage being shredded into them. That's going to be the Rhaegar diving in as well. They get another Impale, and it's going to stop Yotaro from being able to get the kill. They used the recall, but it didn't really take them very far right there. Sven plays Sylv. They might have had to heal for a lot of this game. I think F usually is the one who is maybe their healer. Alrighty. Bottom lane currently going to be just hooked on Phoenix versus Corndog. We've got the we got Proshox, Fenla, and Gola on the left-hand side grabbing this camp, and same thing on the right. Well, not same heroes, but you know what I mean. And sorry, I'm skimming around map because there's a lot happening all at the same time. So it's just gonna be lane management from both sides before we get into the Immortal phase. This is gonna be Greyman actually already set up for the race potential. That's why you're seeing them on this point right there, because the vision for the Observer will always show the Immortals for the blue team, so that's why you're seeing the axes on this top portion. You see the shield on your minimap down this lower portion, so it's just showing it for the blue team. If we were to swap player vision over to the red side like we do in previous maps, that would actually kind of showcase how that's going to swap from side to side. But it looks like Leoric swaps over to, or rotates into top lane to make sure that that camp doesn't get much value. Tassadar are doing the same thing in bottom lane, as the Immortal phase will be going over the majority of the Immortal phase going over to the side of Deep Fried Ragaros, as they're going to continue to dive onto this. I'm not surprised per se, but this is the one map where we actually do see a lot of Rainers pick up. Sorry about that. Pick up the oh my god, I'm blanking on the talent all of a sudden. I had this whole thing about it, and then I completely blank on the talent. It is going to be, I know exactly what it does too. It's the purple one that's a sword, and it looks like it's the battle momentum icon. Oh my god, this is actually driving me up the wall. Either way, chat will help me out in about 30 seconds. Or I'll figure it out midway through this top lane push pressure that's coming on in Exterminator for Raynor. There we go. Dear Lord, did that take forever. Sorry about that, but Exterminator value is something that we often do see here because the race potential is increased, but you already have a Grey main, so realistically, going in the Ace in the Hole is going to work out best for you because you also do have some slows from all of the damage coming in from the slows from Leoric, as well as the setup from a Nubarak on top of it, because I believe its value onto stuns as well. Deathwing will be landing down here as the top lane fort will be going down. They should, yeah, I was gonna say, they should be able to grab this. Deathwing actually uses the Cataclysm, and that puts them in a bit of an odd spot. Gola in a very bad spot as they end up getting picked off. First Blood will be going over to the side of Illidancing Queens. Sestrin and friends will rotate down. They're gonna need to split off. Looks like King Andrew will be in bottom lane. I think they were considering to swap out their lanes, but they're gonna leave Deathwing in top lane, rotate the friendly members down to bottom. I don't think they'll get a gank onto King Andrew. They should have Wraithwalk up and available. There's gonna be the power slide, but still, they got the Wraithwalk off just in time, so they're gonna be able to drop out of that. And that will be just a disengage, and they're going to reset, and even then, the early game kill didn't yield that much experience. 621 coming out from them, but the mercenary camp deficits have actually kind of balanced that all out. In the end, Alexstrasza popping the Dragon Queen form as another dragon throws me off. Skyfall coming out from the Deathwing, going to be trying to get some backline damage. That's going to be the camp picked up in favor for the members of the Illidancing Queens. Deep Fried Ragaros looking to just get the quick burn onto that before it even gets into lane. We should be having another Mortal phase popping up fairly soon. Raynor was left in this top lane to push up a little bit further. And they're not going to play it too aggressive. Well, I was going to say they're not playing it too aggressive, but look at this rotation coming out from the enemy side. And Proshock realizes that Tracer's going to use a couple blinks to get closer. That's going to be Born to Shine and friends looking for the flank, but they end up using... Yeah, I don't know if Proshock's going to be able to live through this one right now. And they're going to be getting chased out here. They should have another penetrating round, but it's not going to matter as they end up getting picked off, and Tracer builds up an entire pulse round bomb during, I think, that entire chase. Might have had the majority of it done, but at least they do solidify it right there, as another Immortal phase will be popping up. Immortals will be popping up in this north to south position. As I was noting, if you jump over the vision, let's say red team, you're going to see it swap right there on your mini-map. So it's just little things like that. When you are watching an observer, just so you know yourself, you're like, oh, well, what side am I seeing? Who's going to spawn where? Ahead of time, at least you know it's always going to be from that blue player perspective or that left side. While all this is happening, while we do have our Immortal phase starting out here, we're going to go ahead and cycle through some of the other numbers, get an idea of what those look like. This is going to be Corn Dog taking a lot of dive initial damage. They have the burrow charge to get out of there. This is going to be 10 talents here almost simultaneously picked up. Deathwing going to use the Cataclysm to dive into this fight, close that distance into the enemy team. They are going to have stage dive from the ETC, so no mosh pit coming out from them. Gola taking way too much damage, does end up getting picked off right there. Corn Dog needs to back off as well. Looks like it's Greymane going for the throat for the heroic choice. It's going to be 16 seconds onto them. Hyperion for the Rainer. We have Entomb from the Leoric. Web Rat from the Anubrak, and then Alexstrasza goes into the Cleansing Flame. And then Burn Beneath My Shadow, I believe, was picked up for the Deathwing. I believe that's the icon. I can't really tell. Oh, that's going to be a great Entomb blocking them in right there as they're in a bit of a rough spot. Sestrin trying to make their way out. They end up getting to the far side of this. Sage Dive from the ETC puts them in the backline, but they now just turn around and say, hey, hello, ETC. Actually, they use the Web Wrap to save them, to save King Andrew as the Hyperion comes out as well. Yotaru going to get the Ancestor healing just in time. Corndog taking so much damage. The Cleansing Flame coming down as well, and that's going to be Alexstrasza landing right next to them, getting a healing circle off as well. But this looks like we should be having... I was just about to say we should be having our halfway phase, but then I realized they did swap from north to south, so this is just going to be teams backing off, or at least the members of Illidancing Queens backing off for a couple seconds here, as this is now King Andrew and friends burning down this Immortal phase. Tassadar going to use the Oracle to get some vision for the friendly team. Deathwing going to be landing on top of a few. That's going to be King Andrew in a bit of a rough spot, and they should have an Entomb once again if they want to try and lock one in before they end up going down, but they don't even need it, as somehow, some way they're living through all this. They end up going down. Immortal phase ends up going over in favor for the members of Deep Fry Ragaros, and now this goes into bottom lane. Second Immortal of the game in their favor, going to be pushing in as well. Anonymous Gifter, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Zool Rules. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Zool Rules, enjoy your Asmapog, your Baja Rages, your finger guns, and your little gilded beard in chat. Nice Entomb coming out from the York right there. Power slide out from Pina Colada just to try and get out. That's going to be the Pulse Bomb onto one. Web Wrap went onto the Rhaegars. I think they're afraid of the Ancestor healing. King Andrew getting very low. They end up getting away with their life still, and they still find the kill onto ETC. Meanwhile, the Immortal burned through the fort, going to be making quick work of this front gate, and they could be looking at potentially putting pressure into a keep. But they're going to need to be getting a kill here. Actually, the Hyperion coming is just perfect. I still think they're going to need a kill if they want to push past this keep. They might be able to put a little bit of damage onto it with the Hyperion, but I definitely don't think this is going to be going down, because once they lose that Immortal phase, you're going to be seeing the enemy team starting to step further forward. And Gola maybe stayed a little too long. Stage dive from the ETC from the Hall of Storms. It's going to be Deathwing on the far side of this fight. ETC with the great face melt finds the kill onto Nubrak. They get the Greymane as well. ProShock trying to make their way out of here. Pulse Bomb goes onto them. I don't think you make it out of that one alive, and they end up getting picked off. Svenla going to be landing right next to this dragon, and they end up getting picked off as well. Leoric does shamble their way out with their bones in their life, but that will be, I would expect bottom lane fort to go down. Ooh, this is a very aggressive steal, but it's going to work out for them fairly well. Alrighty, let's see here. Camp was grabbed. The majority of the team is back, and now Tassadar is going to grab a camp down here really quickly. Okay, sorry. I'm getting like, I was getting very specific pings. All right, camp was grabbed. 13's up on both sides. Almost a 9-minute keep. Yeah. Okay, Immortal phase spawning up here. We've got top lane fort gone, as well as bottom lane forts. That's going to allow you to have periodic catapult pressure coming through those waves. That's why you're seeing the one up there. This is going to be Yotaro and Born to Shine grabbing this camp up here, as well as the help from Sestrin, just to burn that down a little bit quicker. They realize that they're probably on that camp, and it's even Talontiers. They're going to try and sneak in here and get this engage while the enemy team is a little bit split, and let's see what happens as the stage dive comes in. There's a web wrap onto the Tracer. Cataclysm comes through as well. Hyperion going to be going out on top of all this. ProShock trying to throw some pepper in from the backline, but there's a lot of members tanking so much damage as the Anubrak goes in. While they do steal away the camp, they might not be able to make it out with their lives. lives as the Leorc's able to get the Wraith Walk out. Alex Straza going to be landing down in the Dragon Queen form, tries to use the Buffet to force back the enemy team, but now they end up splitting off. They actually thought about just going for the race as another push back from the Dragon Queen form will be right there. That's going to be an Entomb out from Leorc, but that's kind of just trying to split the enemy team from stepping further up. This is going to be 8 seconds on the Nubrak, but can they keep one of the members up so they don't stagger out of death? Gola trying to do their best with the Razor Swipe. There's no extra damage falling through the gate, and they end up saving themselves. That is exactly what you want, but if they stagger out of death on the Pina Colada, that's going to be huge for them. Alex Straza slowing with the Flame Buffet constantly being thrown out. Deathwing did go into the... did fly up into the sky. Meanwhile, I did want to note, Shaman was grabbed by the members of Deep Fried Ragaros, so that's going to be top lane pressure still constantly amounting and winning out. Actually, that ended up going down to the keep right there. I thought it was going to sustain longer. Pulse Bomb goes out, doesn't connect onto anyone. Power Slide from the ETC, but no mosh pit since they went into the stage dive. Gola taking way too much damage, needs to get the Eyes in the Dark Gola away, but they're getting body blocked into some of the stuns, ends up getting out of there just fine. Meanwhile, right behind us, that's going to be Leorc trying to Wraith Walk right out of there. Does manage to do exactly so, and once again, they retreat to their fort, which is really beneficial for them. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, Catapult doing quick work of the keep, and they realize this, so they have to still play this defensive. Gonna leave Tracer on the right hand side. Once they see that damage coming through, they're gonna step up, and that's why you're seeing them already on this point. Tracer now has to come back and try and fight into this. Deathwing with the Cataclysm, they realize as they back up a little bit. Corndog in a bit of a rough spot, uses the Burrow Charge, lands a little too shy of the wall. I think they were trying to get to the far side of that one, as there's an Entomb coming out from the Leorc. There's a chase. I don't know who was getting chased right there. Stage dive from the ETC. Yotaro taking way too much damage, ends up going down. Gola gonna be able to go for the throat and find a kill onto the Tassadar. Pina Colada getting very low here, as that is going to be the ETC getting picked off. Rhaegar just trying to solo onto the Immortal, but 4 go down on the enemy side, and they realize that there's already a wave in bottom lane, and they're gonna try and end off of this. 20 seconds on average for 4 players. You definitely could end here, but this also could be the throw. If Tracer comes back and has some insane plays, that could be what really turns this around. But between ProShock, actually they leave the Greymane behind to finish this out, so it's kind of they're banking on that. The unfortunate thing though is they need the Greymane to actually finalize this core damage, so this push right here, it might have been better suited for top lane just to kind of buff that out, but they at least hold back the enemy team. I'm not 100% sure about this push through bottom. I think top lane just prepping that and just getting prepared for the Immortal phase would have been a little bit more beneficial, but either way, we are going to be seeing our 3rd Immortal of the game, and this will be going over the members of Deep Fried Ragaros, pushing this up through, but look at this over here.
I shall march for Hell's Gates.
I don't know if they're trying to end or if they're trying to just keep them from doing damage to the Immortal, because it doesn't seem like they're trying to step up to core. They want to take the fight though, as there's an Immortal currently working its way through top lane. Gola taking so much damage. Can they live through all this? The ETC gets the stage dive, roll away from the... Oh my god, the Greymane gets the roll away. There's a Cataclysm coming through from the Deathwing as well. They end up getting picked off from that one. Leorc did get killed as well, so at least they're trading out with that. Meanwhile, the Immortal in top lane does 774 damage in auto. Heat goes down. And now the members of Deep Fried Ragaros are looking to step up through bottom lane, meeting the Immortal through top. Hyperion's going to be coming in as well. Gola taking a lot of the initial damage once again. They dive onto Yotaro, who doesn't make it out alive, as there is enough pepper from Reyna to finish out that kill. Immortal on the core, the Hyperion just now ending, and that is going to be game number 3, going over to the members of Deep Fried Ragaros. They take the series 2-1. GG. Well played.